We're huge fans of the revenue estimator feature, and I think we're probably using it maybe 4 or 5 times more than I estimated originally because it is such a useful feature. We started back in 20, I want to say it was like 2014 maybe. At that point, we were just based out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and for the first basically 6 or 7 years of the business, it was run primarily as a mom and pop, 10 or so listings just in New Orleans. It grew from about a dozen listings to that was about 3 years ago, and today we're up to about 250 listings in 6 different metro areas. So we've seen good growth. Pretty satisfied with it, although we of course always wish we could grow faster. Part of that growth has been to build out all of our different various softwares we use and kind of our capabilities as a team, and that's where of course PriceLabs comes in. I think we've been a PriceLabs customer for a couple of years now. Kind of during that growth curve is when we realized that kind of our old pricing system was nowhere near as feature rich or data focused as it needed to be, and PriceLabs brings all of that to the table. So when I came on, we only had the 10 units. At that point in time, we were manually pricing each of our listings, which even for one listing is quite difficult. So to do it for 10, it was immediately apparent that was not going to work. So from that point, we originally started working with a different pricing software, a competitor of y'all's. It worked well. However, it didn't. We had issues with it as we scaled, and when we got to probably about maybe 100 listings or so, we started to look for other options. One of the big things for us, of course, we were very happy with our PMS system, and so we wanted to work with another software that had the API connection to our PMS. So we PriceLabs was one of those options. We looked at it, looked very, very promising, and so at that point we started using PriceLabs. We really think there's nothing keeping us from scaling, maybe a couple of order of magnitudes from where we are today with the PriceLabs system. Of course, there's still a good bit that we do checking our listings by hand and making manual edits to the various settings. But because PriceLabs has so many unique settings for each individual listing, where you get the good balance of kind of account level settings, group level settings, and then individual listing level settings, it lets us manage our portfolio pretty seamlessly. We get a lot of phone calls from both our current clients and prospective clients looking for revenue estimates for coming months, and also how the general market is doing around their listing, and then also just vetting properties as, is this a good home for me to buy as a vacation home? Can it generate some additional revenue, or is it a purely investment type client? Are they're looking for hard return comps? The revenue estimator feature has made it's probably to generate those reports before revenue estimator probably took somewhere on the order of 20 or 30 minutes for one of our team members to do, and now they can do it in less than 5 minutes. And it's also more cost effective, so we're happy to do a lot of them. And the specific feature of going from entering in the data to pulling a report is instant because you'll have the PDF feature built in, and it's super concise. It only shows you the exact data that you want. It doesn't have any extra frills, which I really appreciate, because a lot of what we deal with is people developing systems or software or whatever that have way too many bells and whistles that are not actually useful and actually could cause a negative experience. So for us to be able to generate those quickly and easily for our team, who, as I mentioned earlier, aren't necessarily software pros, they're property management pros, it's a great feature for them to have at their fingertips. We're saving a ton of time, and that means cost savings and efficiency. And I think that the underrated part of time saving is actually just stress relief for our team. We ask our property managers to do a lot of tasks that require different competency sets, right? customer service for a client and account management is a very different task than, replacing a door handle that's broken at a property, which is a very different task than setting pricing on a listing over the next 6 months with all kinds of events coming in and all of this stuff. All of those are three totally different skill sets. And generating future revenue reports is another one as well. And so for our team members to be able to do that with confidence, and not dread having to go make a report, it's more exciting because it's like, hey, we got a potential new client or an existing client who's looking for this data, and I can generate for them very quickly, and that will make them happy. And I can do it without all of the burden of time and effort that I used to do it before. I think fundamentally it just gives you a very quick way to get a read on a specific market from a revenue perspective. It's that simple. That sounds like a simple thing to do. However, most companies, actually, nobody's really done a report that it comes out as seemingly both accurate and easy to generate, as you guys have made with this new feature. I think some of the issues you run into with some of these other services is just that the data just is clearly not all that accurate relative to what's actually going on in the market.